right, welcome back, everybody. This is your favorite army guy, Knight, over here. That's me. And then we've got to my immediate right, everybody's fun family favorite, Daddy Bro 72.
What up?
Lean back, lean forward, lean back. Is it gonna focus? Kind of. Okay. Work with me, camera. Work with me.
Unnecessary zoom.
Camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2. Okay. All right. And then directly below the two of us, everybody's least favorite Coast Guard.
Wow, hater. That's messed up.
So, anyway, that would be
Everybody's got to hate the unicorn.
yeah.
I know, right?
Mama told you could be whatever you want.
Wow.
You really took it to the extreme.
He went there.
All right. So tonight, we are going to talk about some D&D stuff. It's actually more third-party D&D stuff, so it's going to be fun. That's who did that again? Was it?
It is through the Dungeon Coach.
Dungeon Coach. That's it.
He's been a third-party supplement, like D&D supplement author for a while now, and he's also the same person that broke off and started DC20 recently because of the whole OGL incidents and all that stuff, because he was afraid that he wasn't going to be able to continue like making money off of doing all the supplements and stuff with what they were doing, so he just kind of broke away. And I think part of it too is just how he felt about the whole situation too. Like he didn't feel comfortable supporting, he's now writing again for D&D because they have changed the OGL stuff back. But yeah, there was a period of time where he quit writing for him on purpose. So anyways, so he tends to put a lot of time and energy into his materials. He's probably got, I don't know, I've never counted him, but he's probably got at least 60 books out there on like different sections. And he's actually done like he has an almanac that he put together. It was actually a Kickstarter that did I think he did like $250,000 in the first like day or something, the first 24 hours on that, and that was a D&D book. And then of course we know DC20 did like some outrageous, it was like 2.7 million in 24 hours or something like that. So anyways, he's known now, like people know who he is, a lot of it because of DC20, but I think there's a lot of people that were following him before because they liked his material. So with that said, one of the books that he wrote was on downtime. And I know we've talked about downtime before. I tend to bring it up a lot because there's not a ton of material in the Player's Handbook or the Dungeon Master Guide that really helps like new Dungeon Masters understand how to do downtime. Right. And I think we were talking about before too, like it tends to get pushed under, especially by DMs that don't want to take the time to actually build out like a storyline or have you do anything in between, or like there's a lot of DMs out there that just don't want to spend the time on like writing out certain things. So anyways, we talked about like the laziness and all the stuff that comes into some of the like the DM styles and so forth, and
they are super lazy.
Yeah. So I mean, some are. Yeah, you get lucky, right, with some DMs that are really good and like want to put in the time and the effort and all that stuff. And you have some that
I don't know any DMs like that.
Yeah. No. Well,
what?
I'm gonna have to translate this into color by number so you can use it in your material. But once I do,
yeah, connect the dots works better.
That's right. Yeah. So,
so
anyways, stick figures, right? Stick figures.
Yeah, exactly that one.
So what I wanted to bring up was one of the things that you tend to hear from especially new players or players coming on that have never played before, and they roll they roll their ability scores and so forth, and they just get bad rolls, right? And as a player, it just sucks, right? Like when you go to do something, like all your rolls are horrible, like you don't have good ability scores. Um, okay, Army. All right, jeez. Um, you
I
might as
had
well
to.
stay in as a
I
recruiter.
had to.
I don't know what else you need to do. I mean,
Whatever, dude.
goodness.
We know you can't spell.
Yeah,
What are you
yeah.
saying?
That's why he's got signs.
That's right. So anyways, uh, so really it the idea behind this is to give an option to the DM to then provide the players, like if you just had really bad rolls, these are the things you can do to like increase the things of your characters, but it's not gimme stuff either. You actually have to work for this stuff. So the one that he's got in place here that I'm going to go over, there's multiple downtime stuff. He has them marked out, and just to quickly cover kind of like how he has it here, he has um, short term and long term stuff. And so like short term would be like short term downtime activities would be things like researching something or experimenting with like new magic that you've learned, like to like increase your spells or something, or tweaking things, or working a job, doing some type of training, right? Like just basic like short term stuff, petty theft, gambling, things that are those along those lines. Long term falls into um, like things that take like a weekend, a week, a month, or longer, right? And so um, the one we're going to go over actually takes at least 90 days in game. Um, and the idea behind this is that you can build. There's two things behind this, and the DM that I'm currently playing with is allowing us to tweak this a little bit and also introduce some other options to this. So the within the book, it's actually for feat training. So you can gain feats without having to get them only during your ability score improvements. Um, there are some it talks about in here that if like you're getting a feat that also has like an ability score improvement tied to it and it makes sense, that you can alter this a little bit. And that's kind of what we've done um, along those lines as well. So we're following the feat training side, and if you want to gain a feat, you have to have 90 days in game, a teacher or someone that you can go to that's going to give you like the knowledge, or somewhere to get the knowledge to gain the benefit you're trying to get, and it costs you 50 gold pieces per day. So that's the catcher, right? Like the time, finding the person that will actually give you the training, and then, if you just do a quick calculation of that, I mean, that's 4,500 gold pieces um, over 90 days that you have to like shell out. So at lower levels, that's going to be really difficult to attain unless you ran into some like crazy hoard of gold. But as you climb and you need some of those abilities and so forth to do more, like it makes sense, right? Um, So what we're doing to tweak this is we're also stating that if you want to increase your ability scores, one, you have to have a training program and some form of a story that will fit into like how you're going to gain that. So for instance, on the paladin that I rolled, uh, I wanted to increase my charisma a little bit, and in order to do that, what I'm doing is I'm reading different books from the library, and then my character will be hosting events in towns of like public speaking or trying to persuade like nobles to do something, or and so he has to actually host these things, and that's where the money's going to get spent, right? Like he has to like book out the events and like pay for the food and like all this other stuff, and to get people there to actually do it. So that's where like that's how we're tying in the cost of being able to make that happen. So
So is he like a bard,
I'm
or
sorry.
is he's a paladin though, right?
Yeah. But the thing
So
is,
he's doing bard stuff though.
no, I took a dip in Warlock.
Oh, okay.
So he can use his charisma. Well, obviously we know charisma is for their spellcasting, right? For paladins, but also charisma is for his magic weapon from the Pact of the Blade with Warlock. So, anyways, so in order to increase that, now what we've done is we've said, okay, currently I'm already at like a +3, right, in my charisma, and I want to bump that up to a +4. So for every level from 0 to 1, right? So the 0 to 1, if you had nothing, it would be the 90 days plus the 50 gold per day is kind of what we're following, and then it would increase on top of that. So what we're saying is 90 times. It would add roughly an additional like 15 days. So that's the easy math that you could do anyways. So for every additional level that you would want to do, you would be adding roughly 20 more days on top of that. So if it's 3 of those, so that's another 60 days, right? On top of the 90 days. So now you're talking 150 days times 50 gold. So 7,500 gold pieces to get to like a +4 in my charisma now. Like in order to bump that up, in order that's to gain like that one. So it's not a super simple thing to accomplish, but it's doable. Whereas in otherwise you would be like eating up you would be choosing right between like, do I take a feat or do I take the ability to like score to improve it, and then my character doesn't get the feats that I want to actually build it out and all that stuff. So anyways, this gives you the opportunity to still take a feat or an ability score at that time, like at level 4, or when you increase up as you're going, and then also along that time you can do this training to either gain a feat or gain an ability score. So, thoughts on it?
Does it in the end does it make sense to do it though? Or does it depend on the character type?
So I think what we discussed was um, it has to fit your character build, and it has
That's
to
what
make
I
sense
figured.
of why you're doing it. So
Right.
in other words, like the whole point, like my character is eventually going to go up against this like super and crazy. Well, and I just know this because we did this whole like our session 0 was actually like a, a prelude to what happened before the game started, like 10 years before we started. And it was a death knight that used to work for, well, it used to be an angel that was a paladin that worked directly for Bahamut, and he like fell while he was in the nine hells, and ended up going to Tiamat, right? And so now he works for Tiamat, became an oathbreaker, and now is this like death knight, right? And like carries a an axe. It's the hellfire axe. So like when he kills you, he like rips your soul out and sends it to the river Styx, and you become a lemur. So
Yay.
yeah, so he's like super crazy, right? So the idea, and that was part of the warlock thing, is like, but I worship Bahamut. Bahamut came to me and said, "Hey, like you've met everything I need you to do. Now I want you to prove yourself. Go out and adventure, build yourself up, and I need you to take out this like fallen paladin, right? Because like he's now doing evil, and he used to work for Bahamut. So, and that's part of the warlock thing. Like nobody else knows that he has this warlock thing, but Bahamut purposely gave him a little bit of a taste of what the darker side looked like, because he's going to be facing that. So, so anyways, the build though of the character, and you guys know that I always do crazy builds. So
I was gonna say, so in other words, what you're saying is, so he was following the light, and now you know Senator Palpatine is coming in and giving him a little taste of the dark side, right?
yeah, so Bahamut just told him, he's like, don't discuss this with anybody else, right? Like don't allow others to know that you have this ability, but understand like this is what the darker side of things look like, and this is what you're kind of going up against in the future.
Someone figured out how to use a soundboard.
Yeah, he's like giving himself claps and everything else, and
Hey,
Yeah, right.
hey,
he's
relax.
on jokes and making me laugh and all that stuff. But anyways,
You make jokes too.
I
See,
mean,
I just think for the average noob like me, I don't see the cost benefit for this because I'm too dumb to think it. You're playing like 6D chess, and I'm here
yeah.
playing checkers. Going, man, I just want to stay on the damn board.
Well, I think the idea though is like if you have really shitty rolls, right? Like everything's
And
an
I
11.
always do.
Like everything's an 11, right?
Yeah.
Like you're just subpar, like you're just barely making it as a hero at that point, right? Like, and so you're like, okay, something's got to give, and I really like would want to get some of these feats, but I can't because I'm going to use all of my ability score improvements to get ability score improvements
Right.
instead. So this opens up the door to say, hey,
I
by the
get it.
way, if you'd like,
Right.
you can get some feats. Yeah. So
That's cool. I don't like to work that hard. I'm lazy, man. I hide behind a frying pan for God's sake. I mean, really.
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah,
Let's see.
we're gonna have to take that away from him eventually.
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
I've got some wire cutters here at the house.
Right?
It's my new favorite thing, man. It
Goodness.
adds a little character to the stream. You know?
Yeah,
Do it for
yeah.
the content. Do it for the content. They say
Deep breaths.
Yeah, because that was my thing. Was like I was pushing because this specific DM only lets you roll once, right? So you get to roll once, and that's what you get.
Right.
And he has like a roll bot, and I already like dislike robots, right? Because like, and there's some that will let you roll like 3 times, and you choose like the highest roll out of the 3 or whatever. Like it just depends on the DM, but to make things more interesting, right? Like it plays into more role play for the game.
No, I get it. I get what you're saying. I'm just saying from a noob's perspective, I'd be like, "You're killing me, man. You're killing me, Smalls." But I get what you're doing, and I think it's pretty. I mean, I see it as it adds potential to kind of accentuate the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it can actually give you a huge advantage if you can make it work. You know, if you can get a good feat, if you have the other thing too, I think you really kind of have to target a feat that you want.
Yep.
And know exactly how that's going to play with your character.
Well, and again, like I had to explain to him, like I'm going to check out this library book that's literally on like the psychology of human like interaction and body language because I want to like improve my persuasion skills. You know, like I had to really give like a reason behind it.
Makes sense.
But and then on top of that, like it's just reading it isn't going to work. Like I'm going to have to host multiple events and like, you know, make this persuasion stuff work and all that stuff. So anyways, but yeah, no, I just I thought it was fun, something different, a different twist on it.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, it adds an extra layer of content that wasn't there originally, and I mean, and it's not bad. Like it's actually a good thing if you think about it. But you also have to have the right group for it as well.
Yeah.
So like if the group isn't good for it, then clearly it's not going to be a good fit.
And I think if you get a lazy DM, it'd be hard to pull that off too.
Yeah, but that's
because they're going to be like, I don't understand this. I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, exactly.
I've played with guys like that, and it's you just want to shove them in a corner somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, let's role play a game. I'm going to stuff you in a corner.
And your character dies.
Yeah. Right.
Roll for damage.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, but it to me it's worth it if you have the right group for it.
Right.
That's the kicker though. Like that's where it all comes down to that.
And I'm pretty particular. Like when I go to a session 0, I ask specific questions, and I don't mind not being in a campaign. You know what I mean? Like if it doesn't fit my style of playing or whatever, then I don't need to be in it. You know?
Right.
So, but again, I think that's learned behavior or whatever, like over time you learn like what is your style and what do you enjoy doing. So a lot of people, to your point, Daddy Bro, like if you're new to it and you've never been exposed to it, then you wouldn't know, right?
Right.
Also, part of this is the DM that is running everything is literally a brand new DM, and I found him on Start Playing. I provided him all the books because he was going to DM with the player's handbook. That's all he had.
What?
And so,
Yeah, that's a
so I,
terrible.
I provided everything to him, and I told him, I
Noob.
said, hey, like this is kind of like what I would enjoy doing, and I gave him Foundry, and I gave him like all the modules, and I gave like all that stuff to run the game. So, um, so it's helping him like learn like how do you do all these extra things for people as well, like the players, and the other players that are on the group that are playing, like they enjoy it, like they're all about it too. So
Right.
but
Well, I
anyway,
mean, you got the right group together with the right set of characters. I could see how this would be really nice.
yeah, because
Just
we didn't have one of
exactly.
those like bug guys or whatever, like the ones that look like the what are they called, the
Like Night,
what's that?
like Night.
Right,
Yeah.
I'm not following.
He's
um
Excuse me. I'm gonna excuse myself out the door now. Thank you.
he's talking about his.
God, man.
It's the 3 key or what, a 3 creen or whatever it is. The character or the player that looks like a mantis, praying mantis. Anyways,
Your character has a praying mantis head.
no, it's a praying mantis. Not my character, not mine, but like one of the other players is basically a praying mantis. Like
Why?
telepathy and
Oh Lord!
clicks and all these other crazy
Just
noises.
don't let them mate because bad things happen when they mate.
Well, he's already
Yeah.
ripped the head off of a bad guy and ate it. So
Yeah,
Well, I'm
and
not surprised.
don't pour water on him after at any
After
moment,
midnight.
and you can't feed him after midnight.
Oh, what is he? Gizmo or something?
Yeah.
Right?
I got the Goonies reference or the
Yep.
Stripes. Isn't it? What is it?
No, that's you were right. You were right originally.
Was it Goonies?
No, not
No.
Goonies.
Gremlins.
He's talking about Gremlins.
Well,
Hey,
yeah,
he-
no.
he was
Goonies.
right.
Stripe is from the Gremlins.
Yeah, I get that. The water and the not feeding him thing. I get that
Yeah,
one.
that was Gremlins.
But anyways, so yeah,
Good.
the group is interesting. But
I need an airplane sound so I can just go. Meow.
Right?
yeah, we one of the things we talked about too was with the for-profit side of the business that we're working on. One of the things that Start Playing doesn't offer is consistency on like how the DM is going to run certain things and all that, because it's up to the DM on Start Playing. And so we are talking about guiding DMs that are going to come in and play of like, this is kind of how we want things ran and why and all that stuff. And so it's going to allow them to then, like, players will have more of an idea and consistent idea of like what's going to happen when they play a game on our site. So anyways, some of this stuff would be in that session 0 of like, would this be important to you? Like, is downtime important to you? And if the group says yes, then we could implement something like this. So
Yep. Definitely third. Like I like a lot of the third party stuff that they have coming out.
even for one shots, not obviously you wouldn't do like downtime stuff for one shots, but even in one, like one of the things I was looking at too was adding an extra 30 minutes into like a 3-hour one shot, so 3 hours and 30 minutes instead. So that first 30 minutes is like a quick session 0 of like a layout of, is everything good to go? Do you have any questions? Like all that
Oh,
stuff. So
dude, are you kidding me? Most of the one shots that I've run, the first 30 minutes is pretty much exactly like that.
that's what I mean. So that way
So-
they know though that they're not going to go, like they already have it anticipated that they're going to work that like that amount of time to be there, right? So
Yeah. And I feel like if you play D&D at all, you should anticipate like at least like 30 minutes to an hour of bullshit time.
There's always going to be the one person that showed up that didn't go to D&D Beyond and create their character.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Like,
right.
You're talking about me. I get it. That's cool. I got it.
And then they're like, "Yeah, I've got a frying pan." And you're like, "Wait a second, that's not
Yeah.
a pan you can pick."
Yeah, frying
Good
pan.
That was
Hold
pretty
on, let me go create that in Homebrew for you.
Yeah.
great. Right. I'm
Yeah,
actually thinking about building a giant frying pan in my Minecraft world.
That'd be
Nice.
sweet.
I know Knight will get it, but I don't know if Seawolf and then will get it.
Do it. Do it. Do it.
Dude, I'm gonna kill his soundboard. I swear to God. I'm gonna nuke that thing.
Oh, this is the best. This is the best. Okay, so now that I got to get all close. All right.
Goodness. It knows what the viewers want,
Yeah.
Apparently.
not to your face.
Right. Dark.
Let's do it that way. No. So anywho, so should we? Yeah. What else? What else is good that's going on in the good freaking? There.
Gobbledygook.
Yeah. Right. That one. Something.
Well, we are heading towards the time of the year when holidays happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think it's important to let everybody, if you're a vet, especially, this is that time of the year, right? For some people, this is hard. This is really hard time of the year. For me personally, it's always my favorite time of the year because this is a chance to make some money.
Right.
When I was active duty, I used to take people's duty day around the holiday. Like there was a week of Christmas where I would literally work 24/7 until I dropped.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't doing anything. So I didn't want to go home. I didn't want to go hang. I was looking to make some cash. So if you're one of those people, especially if you're, by yourself or you have no one to hang out with, say for Thanksgiving or Christmas or New Year's or any of that stuff, reach out to somebody. Don't just face it by yourself. Okay. I know it sounds like, I'm a tough guy. And don't do that. Don't, because that some people suffer from intrusive thoughts, but one thing leads to another. And this is the time of the year. And if you're one of those people who, you have an alcohol or drug problem and you kind of fell off, you started a program and you're trying to get yourself together. This is the time of the year when you're going to have the biggest risk of falling off the wagon. So keep that in mind too. Right. And I only say that because I know from firsthand experience how difficult this can be for some people. For me, I don't care. I have 2 rules on Thanksgiving. 1, I'm not cooking. 2, I'm watching football. That's the only 2 rules I have.
Hey, speaking of not cooking though, who else showing up over here?
I don't know.
Are you guys showing up? Will you 2 not get the piss off? Like
who's
seriously?
doing that?
It's the dogs.
My wife's going to be working. Did you guys find out anything on that the little clubhouse down like on the corner? Whether or not it's available. And
Oh! I will remind.
Drop the ball.
I will remind my better half.
I told him, I was like, well, if there's people in the area that don't have any place to go and that place is available or whatever, it would make sense, right? Because more people in there and all that stuff, and so
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah,
but I really believe that vets, especially, this is the time of the year when you need to reach out to the community.
And not only that, but we actually missed. We messed up a little bit. We should go time warp and go back 6 days and say, hey, happy Veterans Day, by the way.
Yeah. Well,
because we totally missed that.
I didn't miss it. I just wasn't here.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, but we were doing it. Me and Psych were over here doing car shows.
Yeah, I saw it. Y'all going to a car show. Nobody tells me nothing.
I didn't know who all wanted to go, and it was originally just going to be me. I was like, I'm putting it out there, and then Psych called me up, and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I was like,
"What are you doing? Let's do something productive today." He's like, "Well, I'm going to a car show."
It's like I was like, I got a booth at a car show. That's what I'm going to be doing. And I was like, you can come out here. He's like, okay, I'll be there. So we did that.
Turned
And
out
that
good
was
though.
yeah, it was a pretty good turnout actually. So that was nice. And then today I went to since they didn't hold it on Monday, they actually held it today, a veteran pool tournament. That was fun.
Did you win?
Hell to the no, but I had a good time.
Well, that's all that matters.
Yeah, no, we actually made it to like I don't know, made it to almost the last bracket, and then but yeah, the semifinals, then my better half made it to the semifinals also. We both lost to the same team.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it was fun. It was a good time. Damn good time. No, we had a great time actually. So, uh, also if you guys are in the Tri-County area for like Kaufman and all that, and you play pool, APA is the way to go. All right, so I'm gonna throw that little bit out there. They're not paying me to say that. I'm just saying that we do need more players. Um, let's see what else can we put out there for public service announcements. The veterans thing, where yeah, if you are in a situation, because a lot of people, like Daddy Bro said, this is the time of year where
Yep.
the suicide rate kind of does go up a little bit. So let's fix that. Let's change that this year.
I don't know of anybody I've ever talked to when I said, "Hey, like, I'm not from the area. Like, do you know of anything that's going on?" And I didn't get invited someplace.
Yeah.
Like when I was stationed in Southern California, like I got taken
San
in by like,
Diego.
oh yeah, I was in LA or whatever, and like I had
Strippers.
a family that like basically took me in the
Yep.
whole time I lived down there. You know, like
Yep.
I was getting fresh like Mexican food and everything
That's a
else, and
good
it was
deal,
awesome,
man. And
man.
they do like the chorizo stuff and oh
Yeah.
my jeebus.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
But
dated a Mexican girl once. That was good times.
yeah, I mean the whole family like
I
welcomed
was
me in. You know what I mean? Which was awesome. And they
She's
had
a
some like
cutter.
nuts and stuff and all that stuff too. And yeah, no, it was good to be around that. But anyways, yeah, like even if you're not outgoing or whatever, like feel free to reach out to like I mean some of the VFWs do stuff. But there's normally like someone in the area. The other thing too, a lot of people tend to forget about doing it, whether you're involved in the school or not. Look and see what like some of the schools nearby you, the colleges and stuff, their veteran clubs are doing.
Or the churches.
Yeah, or
Yep.
churches. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I'm not a big religious person. Like I would be the first to tell you. But at the same time, like I do know that a lot of churches will do whatever they can to help you out. So
you're like, I'm really hungry today, Father. Like, how many times can I come back through this line for that piece of bread?
oh yeah. And then let's see here. What else? Yeah, need something. I guess if you need something for the holidays, whatever it is, just hit us up. Like you can even contact us. The three of us are available. Okay,
Just
we're
the
there.
three of us.
Yeah. Should I go a little
No,
deeper?
don't.
No? Okay, fair enough. Okay. Any hoots. Let's see.
And the
Then
other thing too is like we have contacts through other social networks that we have that are in different parts of the United States too. So
yeah.
we can get you in touch with other
Yep.
vets. So
I know people all over the world actually.
yeah.
No, and you know, my better half is the post commander for the VFW here, and so we can get you in contact with the right people, the appropriate people to help you.
Yeah.
Just let us know. We got to help. That's what we're here for.
Yep.
Like,
try to help out where we can.
yeah, exactly. So then, what's the other? There's
And buy yourself that die set you wanted.
Yeah.
For Christmas.
Yeah. We'll get you that dice set. Don't worry.
Mm.
Somebody will. Santa Claus. You know. Hey, it's a full moon tonight. so, yeah. What? Sorry. Anyways.
How's halfway expecting him to stand up and drop
I was
his
gonna
pants.
say
But
I can see it coming.
No. It's the camera. It's you didn't see. I'm already mooning the camera. Like hello.
mhm.
No. It's
Goodness.
this thing keeps autofocusing and blurring me out. Yeah.
It's been hitting the wacky tobacco.
Yeah.
Right. Something like that. All right. So what do we got? Like another good 25 minutes or so. Let's see. I want to talk about something though, and I know.
Here it comes.
Yes, here it comes. Here it comes. Part of the weekly burn. Are we ready for the weekly burn?
Let's go.
I mean, let's do this. Let's do this.
Oh my Jesus!
Let's do it.
That was a
Boy.
really weak horn.
Don't encourage him.
Good God, why is this? What is wrong here? Should I turn this thing up? Maybe that's what's super bright.
Oh my goodness.
He's all washed out.
Yeah.
I'm trying. I'm trying to get it to stop autofocusing. I don't know what's wrong with it.
What's a setting? Probably.
It's supposed to be auto.
Your performance tonight was almost as good as Tyson's yesterday.
Oh, I look. Here's the deal. I didn't watch it.
Do I even want to know? Like
Mike Tyson fought that douchebag college kid.
Yeah, and he didn't really fight.
Well, they danced for 30 minutes apparently.
I didn't. That was not. I don't know. Unless Tyson was sick or something, he was not fighting.
Well, he's 60 years old, man.
Yeah, but you see him in his training camp and stuff. Like he was sending people to hospital and stuff. Like they working for him and all. Yeah, it was crazy.
It was his body double.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know, dude. I didn't watch it. I didn't partake. I love Mike Tyson personally.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's hilarious. I love when he bites the ears off of people. I think that's funny.
Yeah, he's so funny. Like I think he's a great guy.
He is funny, man.
Yeah.
But he
He's all about making that money.
They went the distance, and John Paul, James Paul, whatever the heck, Ding Dong Paul, he won.
No, you're supposed to replace all S's with the.
What was it? It was only like, was it 6 or 8 rounds? I can't remember. I think
it was 6. I don't know.
And
I haven't seen it, but I heard Netflix did not do well with keeping things going.
It was bad. I had to watch it because I tried to watch it on the Fire Stick. It wouldn't work. I tried to watch it on my computer. It wouldn't work. Like it kept buffering.
Well, what did you expect? You have probably 80 million people watching it.
Yeah, they said it was 74.6 or something million. Was
they don't have the bandwidth for that.
And so, but it would, it's crazy though. It wouldn't play on my Fire Stick. It wouldn't play on my computer, but it would play on my phone.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
You got an iPhone, don't you?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why.
It played on my phone.
iPhones have huge bandwidths.
But yeah, so it played fine there. It just didn't play anywhere else. So yeah, it would play for 5 minutes and it would go to 99% buffering. It would sit there for like 10 minutes buffering. And like I went to their X page and like it was blown up with like fix your shit.
Oh, I bet everybody was probably pissed. Yeah. So I had a bunch of friends who are real big into boxing. I'm not a fan of boxing all that much. I prefer more blood sport type stuff.
MMA.
Well, yeah. I like the submission stuff, where they actually break your bones and then they tap out after you break the bone. That's much more fun to me.
I mean, the last good fights were in the mid 90s from Pride over in Japan.
Yeah.
But
well, I heard that the undercard, there were 2 women that were fighting before Tyson, and I heard that was an actual fight.
There was also a guy from San Antonio and one from Arizona, and he was defending the title, the guy from San Antonio, and that went the full, I think it was 8 rounds, and it was a draw.
Wow.
Like they beat the crap out of each other too. Yeah, it was good. Like it was a good fight. Yeah. It was a really good fight, and they were both bloodied up at the end. But yeah, it was a draw at the end, so he kept the title. But,
nice.
Yeah.
So I from my perspective, I don't see how the Paul guy, I really don't know his name. Sorry. I don't see how I get why he did it, but to me it's a double-edged sword. You win, you're never going to win this fight. Here's why.
He did
If
it
you
for 40
beat him,
million.
okay, I get that.
That's what
I'm not talking about the money. I'm just talking reputation.
Yeah.
If you win the fight, you beat up a 60-year-old man.
Yeah.
If you lose the fight, you got beat by a 60-year-old man.
Yeah.
Right.
So how does he win? Oh, and I get it. Oh, I got 40 million or 60 million or whatever it is. He's gonna snort it away or whatever he does anyway.
Yeah.
So, whatever.
Yeah, because he was originally a YouTuber, and Tyson's the one that got him started into boxing.
Well, and I don't doubt it. Tyson got a lot of people in boxing.
But yeah, so
What they should have done is taken away Mike's meds for about a month
yeah,
and then let him fight the dude
yeah,
because he would have bit his ear off, and that would have been funny.
Yeah.
that would have been awesome.
I heard he was very sluggish and could barely stand up, and it was pretty bad.
Yeah, he didn't look healthy. He didn't look like he did some of the training camps.
Well, the dude had all kinds of problems before. He
Yeah,
was in the hospital.
Yeah,
and
because
stuff.
originally they were supposed to fight in July.
Yeah.
And then they canceled the fight in July and moved it because he was sick or something. And
He was in the he was hospitalized.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get it. I knew it was going to be, and I knew it was just going to be a shit show too with Netflix because they already, in my opinion, suck. They don't have the bandwidth for something that big.
I want to see a boxing match between a human and one of Elon Musk's new robots that will like do stuff in your house.
That ain't gonna go. That ain't gonna end well for the human. Well, someone was saying that
it should be Will Smith.
Someone was saying that Conor McGregor is gonna fight this dude next, and I think that would be an interesting. I don't think it'd be a fair fight because he's not exactly a heavyweight. McGregor's a little skinny dude, but
but McGregor's also savage. Like, yeah. One person I don't think I'd ever want to fight is McGregor.
I would say that about Tyson.
Yeah.
There is no amount of money in the world you're going to give me that I'm going to let you have him punch me.
Yeah,
not a chance.
Probably not.
I have and he landed a few good shots. Like, don't get me wrong, because at the beginning of the fight, this guy was saying that he was gonna because Tyson slapped him or whatever, and he's like, I'm gonna knock him the F out. He stepped on his foot. And he's like, I'm gonna knock him the F out, and like this is personal now. Blah, blah. He talked a big game, and he got into the ring and started fighting him. And at the end, he was like hugging him and stuff, and like telling.
Well, he realized he just got in there with probably one of the greatest pound for pound fighters that's ever fought.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, there is no way.
There was a couple of like when you see like that good hit where the sweat like shoots off the back of your head.
Yeah.
There's a couple of those. Yeah. So
nice. That's good times right there.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, no, I think that even though Tyson, everybody that I talked to and all, because we were literally playing D&D and watching it at the same time, and like the guys that were watching it too were like, like Tyson's not fighting, like he's not giving it his all, and we almost felt like he was purposely pulling back.
I don't understand. So, he should have ripped the kid's head. I would have paid to see that. Come on, Mike.
And how much of it though is to like boost this guy up so they can continue to make more money off of it? You know what I mean? Like maybe.
Well, I mean, look, he's had some legit fights. He really has. Yeah. He's fought some legit fighters and he's knocked them out.
Yeah.
Does that mean he's a good fighter? No, he's a goof.
Yeah.
He's a total goof. And I really think he's going to run into somebody that's just going to powerhouse him eventually.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. I love that kind of stuff. I think he's a little too big for his britches. He talks a lot of smack too. I hate people like that. Those are the ones you just want to hit with a car door.
You know who he reminds me of? He's not like the other guy was a featherweight fighter. But do you remember the guy that was fighting out of Saudi Arabia, Prince?
And
Prince he talked shit like
Omar,
he used to get out there and like do cartwheels and shit before the fight.
Yeah.
Yep.
That guy used to piss me off, man. I was always like waiting for him to get lit up. He was a decent fighter, but still, man, he used to piss me off.
Mayweather was the one that always got like he was annoying to me.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was, Prince something, but yeah, because he was like, it was an actual title from Saudi Arabia, but.
All right, so let's get into the weekly burn, shall we?
Oh, here it comes.
Yeah, we said this 20 minutes ago, and we we went on to boxing. so, as a veteran, and I want to hear you guys' input as well. How do you guys feel about China's land grab and the Chinese but the Chinese hacker group? Um,
The thing is the Chinese land grab has been happening for a
For
long,
50 years.
long time.
Yeah.
Like, and if you look at places that like I've visited, and even like in North Africa, like places I've gone to where like uh the British used to have empires in and things like that, like guess who stepped in to be the good guy when like China when they decided to like leave and be
Yeah.
like, okay, like y'all said you wanted your country back, now try to run it on your own.
but now they're
And
doing
so
it in mass, but there's this is a two part to this. All right, so one, they're doing it in mass now, and two, you cannot go to China and buy land
Well,
as an
duh.
American.
They're
As an
communists.
American,
Yeah.
No one can. No one
Yeah.
it's
can go
like
to China.
you can't go to Mexico and buy land either. You can
yes, you
lease
can.
it. You can
Nope.
lease it.
You can go and you can buy as much land as you
I
want.
don't think you
So,
can.
You can't
Yeah.
buy land in Mexico unless
Yeah.
you're a Mexican resident.
Right.
No,
You have to be a
or
Mexican
or
citizen.
you have to
or
be a
the
Mexican resident, but it
or
doesn't.
the partner that goes into purchasing it with you is a Mexican resident. Then you can own it. But
You
other
can.
than that, the highest you can get is a 100-year lease in Mexico.
Right.
Yeah, no, you
So
that's not entirely true. So you have to be a Mexican resident, right? That's only well, check this out. There's a loophole to this system. All right. So you can go there, move to Mexico, become a permanent resident in Mexico, and then you can buy land.
but
You're
you have
still
to become a permanent resident in Mexico, you have to give up your US
I was gonna say
residency.
it's way
No.
harder than you think it is.
no, you don't have to give up your U.S.
Dude, my
citizenship.
dad owns property in Mexico. Like I know what he went through. Like
I know a lot of people that own property in Mexico.
he has a
Well,
house
then
down
they're
in
probably
Cabo.
married to a Mexican.
Yeah. Or you find a partner
I
up here,
w-
like
I
a
was
friend or whatever that wants to like purchase with you.
I
And
was
as long
married
as
to one.
they're
This is
from,
how I know this.
Oh,
This is how
well.
I know this.
By
So
the way, the guy's name was Prince Nassim.
Nassim. There it is.
I had to
yeah.
look it up because it was really bugging. It was an earworm in my head. I'm like, I know this. I remember this dude because he used to do this flying. I call it the flying fairy punch.
Yeah.
He did this little flying punch. I'm like, what
the
the
Superman
hell is
punch.
that? It
Yeah,
wasn't.
it was like a jab, but
It was
like,
horrible.
yeah. It was
And he made him.
a jab. It had no power behind it.
Well, he
and it
weighs
was
like 30 pounds.
well, yeah, and it was all just like flamboyant. That's
Yeah,
all it was.
he was a lot. He was a lot of show. I hate people
Yeah.
like that. in boxing. Anyway, sorry, I
Um,
didn't mean to get away
But
from
either
it.
way, there's a
No,
lot of
no.
countries where you can't own land. Like
Yeah.
So the crux of the problem here is this: it's not so much that they're buying land to me; it's where they're buying land.
Yeah,
Mhm.
right next to military.
Well, duh. And the
Yeah.
fact of the matter is, I don't, for the life of me, understand why the federal government would allow that to happen. But it doesn't surprise me that they do, because let's be honest, they're not very smart.
well, guess what else they own a lot of the United States that nobody talks about?
What's that?
Tollways.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
own a huge portion of the Texas tollways.
Yep.
Yep.
So, I mean, which controls all of our traffic here pretty much.
But
And-
but I mean that to me that's a problem. And in what capacity has the federal government not thought, wait, we should stop this? Like Texas and Florida are two states that I know. Oh, we put a ban on that. We locked it down. But on a federal side, they should have been able to lock that down a long time ago.
But they're not going to, because we're a free and open country. That's the price you pay for being free and open.
Mhm.
And remember this. Remember this. The Chinese, okay, they're the way their system works, they are long gamers, right? They're all about 50, 60, 100 years away from now. One thing that Mr. I call him Pooh Bear because that's who he reminds me of, Mr. Winnie. One of the things that he tends to remark about America is we'll never invade America because of this one phrase: you will find a gun behind every blade of grass if you come to the United States.
Mhm.
and they know that. There's never gonna be an invasion like that. And I mean, just in Texas, good luck.
Right.
Grandma's packing. I wish you luck. As far as the Salt Typhoon douchebags, and I say that with all love and deference because I hate them.
Yes.
I've dealt with some of their nonsense. I think they're a lot of talk, not a lot of walk. I'll tell you who scares me way more than the Chinese. It's the North Koreans, believe it or not.
Well, and the scary
Mm.
part is this is the loophole behind it, right? China controls North Korea because
Yep.
they give
Yeah.
them their oil. They give them like they keep North Korea there as a buffer, so they don't have a Western country right next to them. Like there's
Right. Well,
reasons to do all that
it's
stuff.
a buffer between them and Russia,
Right.
primarily.
Well, them and,
But-
and South Korea too. Like,
Yeah.
they don't have to worry about the westernized because if it turned westernized or whatever, then they'd have to worry about that being right up against,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But they don't scare me. And I get it. They're doing all kinds of fun things with our infrastructure. They're not the only ones.
Yeah.
The bottom line is we've known about that for a long time. We
So-
have. And there
Yeah.
are countermeasures in place, believe it or not. You may not hear about it, but I promise you they're there.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing with that.
Yeah.
But here's my problem though. The federal government should have seen this coming a long time.
Well, they did. They especially the infrastructure's been secured that way. But as far as the buying and land, it really and I'll throw this one because this will hurt your brain. It reminds me of the boogeyman BlackRock thing, right? Where they go, BlackRock's buying all the houses. No, they're not. You dumbass. They're not.
Right.
That's not what they're doing. And when they do things like that, it's for other reasons. And it has nothing to do with controlling the populace or making it so you can't buy a house. That's Glenn Beck going crazy. And don't get it wrong, I like Glenn Beck, but on this thing, he's wrong. He's dead wrong. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's way out of his league. It has to do with the way the mortgage system works. That's what that is. What he was referring to. He's referring to a very specific land grab, and it was something that was from way back in the day. Had nothing to do with anything controlling the market or any of that stuff. They own less than like 0.1% of the whole market. How is that controlled?
I think a scarier thing is the amount of people that they send over here to get educated at like our MITs and all that other stuff, right?
Mhm.
And over the next 100 years, what makes
The
us
brain
a
drain.
powerhouse is the
Right.
technology side of the house, right? Like that's what we like. We control everything because we have a better technology system. We can afford it, right? But as they grow and they have more wealth and all this other stuff, and they're gaining the knowledge to actually do that, then that's what becomes scary.
Well,
So-
and this has been a problem for 60 years too.
Mhm.
And then they're not the only ones that are doing that, by the way.
No.
The India's doing it. The Germans did it. The Japanese did it.
Cartel does it.
Right.
The cartel sends their people up here. Like they
Right.
send their kids up here to get educated.
Right. Well,
Then they go
they're not
back and they
stupid.
run their family business based off of how we run the
Ye-
business in the United States. Like,
Yep.
yeah,
That's true.
I think this is the price you pay for a free and open society. This is how it is.
Mhm.
You don't gotta like it, and I would say be wary, keep a wary eye, and when they screw up, and inevitably they will eventually, when they make a mistake, then you pound them.
Yeah.
You know, if we
I
find
mean, that's
that,
one of the benefits of being here is
right,
that America's known for, okay, you done fucked up. Now let's hit you with the fucking hammer
Yeah.
real quick.
and
I'm
just
much-
in case, there's
Yeah.
a reason I took Chinese in college.
oh, you speak Chinese, you speak Mandarin?
I do.
Wow.
It's
very
rusty now,
impressive.
but I took it for 5 years. Yeah,
Well, that's very impressive. I that's one language I couldn't learn.
I could.
It-
I used to read, write, and speak fluently.
Wow.
But
Ah,
it's,
Look at you.
the
And you were in the
60
Coast Guard?
the 60,000
You're pretty smart
characters I
for
don't
that.
have memorized anymore, so I'd have to start over. But yeah, no, I do plan on teaching my kids though, so that'll help me get back on track.
There
But
you go.
yeah, no, I did international business with concentration in Chinese as my undergrad.
Wow, look
Good
at you
Lord.
being Mr. Smarty Pants.
Right?
I'm impressed. Look, Chinese is a tough language.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. That's
Yeah.
a tough language to learn.
There's two
And the
things.
calligraphy
that-
is even worse.
There's two things with the Chinese language. One, the thing that drew me into it the most was the word "bangyo," which is friend. And in ancient Chinese, they used to believe every person had their own moon. And so when you write anytime you talk about a person, you use a female radical in the character that you write out. So
Mhm.
it's a female radical and two moon radicals for friend, because they used to believe that in order to make a friendship, the two moons would come together. Like the whole
Aw,
language is that way.
I'm gonna throw up.
But
You're
then
telling me
the
that
other
Chinese is a love language now? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
the other funny part behind that is whoever created the word for ma, which if you said, it's tonal, right? So like if you said uh what how mama, like how's your mother, right? Compared to like well how, you're like, it's how are you, right? Because it's a question part, like the tone. So
Right.
mama is mother, ma, like the ma, like is a question particle. But if you said ma, like third tone, it's horse. And if you said ma, like high to low, you're scolding somebody, like telling them we're worthless, right? So, but anyways, what I thought was funny is they put mother and horse in the same like category. So whoever
Nice.
wrote it like hated their mother-in-law.
See, Nate, you brought this on. This is all your fault.
It is.
So if you honestly, if I were to say the thing that scares me the most, it's not a country, it's not even a culture. It is this three-letter word EMP. That scares me. Because if you go to a major distribution center, like say this Eastern Seaboard or even the Western Seaboard, and you pop off an EMP and you make it go dark, even for a short period of time, bad things are going to happen here.
What's the first thing you take down when you invade a country?
Well, command and
Their
control.
water and electric, and they're like all
command and
all that
control.
stuff, right?
I go after command and control always. That's what we did in Iraq, right?
Yeah.
We made them dark.
Yeah, quick.
Real dark. And they were like, what the what? And they were like, we have Faraday cages. And we were like, we don't care. We got something for that. Pumpkin.
Right.
They found out real quick. That's the thing that scares me is EMP. An EMP, a high school student can figure that one out.
Well, and they've already gotten balloons in our area. Like, how hard is it to get an EMP over here?
Yeah, right. Like, that whole thing's ridiculous.
Japan did it. They just never talk about it. They bombed the shit out of us in Japan, like back in the day, in farmland or whatever.
Yeah.
It missed their target, but they still bombed us.
Whoopsie.
But see, that's another thing though. Is like, could you imagine if the Chinese were actually buying up all this land just to actually build an EMP right next to the military bases?
See, but I don't see how that works. How does that help them? The actual infrastructure isn't on the military bases in most cases.
Most of the time.
Well, and it's not the military base. I don't think is like they have a lot of contingency plans for that stuff. It's the civilian sector that doesn't. Like our grid, our power grid alone, which was like, I think the average, and it was Sean, what's his name? He has a podcast. He's a prior SEAL. Anyways, he had a guy on that talked about the infrastructure, like our power grid infrastructure, and like 90% of our power grid is from like 1955.
Yeah, and it's duct taped together is what it is.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that work in that world, and it's not good. Yeah. And it's not going to get fixed anytime soon because they're not going to invest the money they got to fix it, because everybody talks a good game about it. But in reality, we don't have the manpower and we don't have the, I would say, the will to fix that.
Look at Hurricane Helene.
Yep.
How long did it take, like, some of those areas just to get the power back up?
Don't even get me started on that. Oh, my God.
I mean,
look at what FEMA did too, by the way. Did you hear about that?
Yeah. Oh God.
I got a couple words for them.
Yeah. No shit.
Unemployment
drops the ball, man.
Yep.
Yeah. FEMA dropped the ball on Katrina too.
Well, yeah, I was there. I remember that one. So, but the only the thing about Katrina though, they were shooting at our helicopters from the
Yep.
5th Ward.
Yep.
I was there doing body recovery and disease control.
Oh well, then you know.
Yep.
All too well. And I was like, wait a minute, we're here to help them. Why are they shooting at us?
We were trying to get, because it was in between deployments, and we were trying to get authorization to shoot back with blanks, and they wouldn't let us. Like,
why?
Because we wanted to scare the shit out of them with some 50s.
Yeah,
They wouldn't let us do it.
Just have a couple of A10s.
The thing is, we weren't allowed to take anybody on the helicopter because we were picking up bodies and stuff, right? And so you can't expose other people to it because it could have there could be
toxins and stuff.
So, So, but anyways,
Could you imagine though, like just a couple of A10s just like flying over, and then
that's what they should have done.
Those people.
Well, the one thing that I've always told people as a result of Katrina that proves my point every single time. If you're ever in a situation where there's a major storm or a major event and the military or the government comes and say, hey, go to the Superdome, go this way. What you do is you go the other way.
Yeah, you find your own route.
Go away. Go away from them because inevitably you're going to a place that's not going to end well for you.
Yeah.
And that's it's a sad truth.
Well, one of the main evacuation points was below the flood line.
Well, yeah. Well,
because the whole thing is a dam busted, right? So that's the reason that
Well, it was a levee. Well, here's the problem with New Orleans. Okay, if you've ever been to New Orleans, you know this. If it rains heavy, they flood. Okay, New Orleans is literally a bowl that's about 12 feet below sea level at most points.
Right on the sea.
Yeah, right on the sea. Literally, it's in the middle of a giant damn swamp.
Yeah,
full of really ornery alligators. Good luck with that, Pumpkin.
Mm-hmm. And fun.
Did you see some of the stuff from the from Florida though, where alligators were actually going into people's houses?
Yeah. Why are you surprised? We used to have that all the time.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Well, how's that different than like
waking up in the morning and like, oh hey, Sonny, you can how mighty teeth you have.
How's that different from like the black bears visiting like the convenience stores in Colorado and stuff?
Yeah. Well, it's a little different.
I mean, I would think it's a little different, because your breakfast essentially when you wake up, and it's just like
that video of the bear that remembered where the Snickers bars were or whatever. He like walks in and helps himself and walks back out. Is awesome.
Right back out. It's the way to go, man.
Right? Why wait? I mean, geez.
I don't know. I get why people are a little wound up about the Chinese, and I get all that. My bigger concern is not so much that they're buying land. My bigger concern is that they're coming in through the southern border.
Yeah.
That's a concern.
That was also another one on is Sean Ryan? That's what it is.
Yeah.
Sean Ryan show. Yeah. And he also discussed, because there's a company that he talked to that they patrol the border or whatever and all that stuff. And he was talking about these people that come down and leave care packages for people that are crossing. And what they found out was they had video. They put up videos to try, just like you would a trail cam or whatever. They put up videos to see who was coming across. And not only did they capture video of like highly wanted like people from the Middle East and all that stuff that were coming in, but they also noticed that the cartel were using all of that like care packages to help themselves get across.
Yep, of course.
Yeah, so they were just funding giving the cartel water basically.
So that's just, and then this is, look, I get it. People want to care and they have that empathy gene in them. I'm sorry that you're like that.
Mm-hmm.
But when stuff hits the fan, don't be surprised why bad things are going to happen to you, because you have empathy. Whereas cold, calculated killers like us, well, we don't have that problem. And
they should just stand down there and hand the water out instead of leaving it there.
Well, you would think that would, Stu, here's the problem. That would require actual work. They're not interested in that. It's all grandstanding.
See how that goes for them. Yeah,
Well, they're the same. They're the same.
With a little bit of mercury in it.
They're the same ones that want to play hug a terrorist. If you hug them
Yeah.
enough, they'll be good. No, they won't. They'll cut your head off.
Yeah.
Where was that? I'm trying to remember where it was. I remember we didn't deploy there, but I remember we were told that it was a concern, and they had all of those like college students who were flying into Iraq, and they were putting themselves at the front lines or whatever, and like acting as like human shields. Do you guys remember that? In like 2005-ish?
Was that in Syria?
It might have been. I'm trying to remember where we were, and they were briefing us. They were like, "Don't be surprised if this happens or whatever." And so, anyways, they're putting themselves up there, right? And then they were wondering, like, why are we still getting shot at? And it wasn't us that was shooting at them. It was the people that they were trying to like protest for or whatever. Like, yeah. So,
Yep.
and I think there was even one group or whatever that had to get rescued out and all this other stuff. Yeah, but
That doesn't
anyways,
surprise me.
no, yeah.
So like I said, I'm curious because the scuttlebutt, the word that I've heard is the new administration incoming is planning on putting military troops on the border immediately to close it down.
Good.
And I say set up some sniper teams.
Yep.
So we need some training. Long range shots are perfect.
No,
Or you know what would actually do better? I got one for you, government. You ready? Are you listening? You got your ears on?
They
Here.
are.
Yeah. Okay. So
and his feed goes black.
there's a bunch of us. There's a bunch of us veterans that would be more than happy to just you give us a sniper rifle, we set up on the border.
Easy,
GG,
big
game
fella.
Game over. I'm just saying. Give me the license and I'm good to go.
I had a buddy that I went
I'll
to
fill
high
up a
school
deer
with.
rack real quick.
I had a buddy that I went to high school with, and his grandfather was prior Marine, and then went to work for the Border Patrol.
Mhm.
And he said it was open license back in the day.
Yeah.
Like,
it
there
should
was
be.
no if they crossed it, they were fair game.
Yep.
And I think that
And they
was
should be.
in like
Yeah.
the 60s and 70s or whatever when they were doing that.
Right.
But still, like, yeah, it was like fair game back in the day. And
Well, apparently, yeah, that's
but
cool.
They,
I mean,
they
all
don't do it
they got to
anymore.
do is give me my little card for the month and come and hole punch it every time I bring a body to it. Yeah, I'm good.
So apparently, there's been I can't remember who it was, somebody that's associated with the new administration, and they were talking about how they have gotten all these calls from former Border Patrol, former FBI's, former agency guys, former military folks
Wanting to come back.
saying, "Hey, I want to come and help."
Yep.
And they're taking them in. They're like, "Come on down."
If anything, come in and just give us your input, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's.
Oh, I think it's more than. I think they're actually saying, "Hey, we're gonna, we're not gonna be handing out towels and Mai Tais anymore.
Yeah.
It's time to shut this down." So you can, and this is something, as we all live in Texas, and lucky us. Over the course of the next 90 days, we're gonna see a crazy influx of people. Probably,
Yeah.
they're gonna rush because they know it's coming.
Mhm.
And
I wouldn't be surprised. Do you guys remember the big influx that we saw for the people that were actually like transported up here? And it was a huge discussion point. But anyways, I wouldn't be surprised to see something similar to that happen again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where like somebody is whoever, they keep saying deep state, whoever's funding the transportation to get them up here, because that mass group that came up here during that period of time, like, they definitely got some help,
Right.
like transportation wise, to get here that fast.
Oh yeah, you're talking about the caravan, right?
Yeah.
That would have been a sight to see, especially if it would have happened after like January 20th of 2024. It'd been like yeah, no.
But that also
no.
sparked one of my fondest memories of when our governor sent a bunch of people to
New York.
Vineyard. So yeah.
Martha's Vineyard.
Did you see how fast they got him out of Martha's Vineyard?
Yeah.
And they strategically placed them at like specific residencies too.
Yep.
So,
I know.
yeah, which is awesome.
So this is a call to anyone who happens to be in the House of Representatives or the Senate right now. Do me a favor, guys. Why don't you go ahead and give the home addresses of every major leader of the Democratic Party on the internet? Put it out there. Dox their ass.
Yep.
And let them know that they are sanctuary people, and if you knock on their door, they will take you in.
Yeah.
Let's light Nancy Pelosi's house up for a little bit.
That's what they said they would do for us.
Yeah, they're liars. They're hypocrites too.
Well,
Yes, they are.
why didn't they let
know
the
that-
guy that broke into Nancy Pelosi's house and knocked out her husband just stay in the room there?
Yeah.
He went to jail. Didn't he hit him with a hammer or something?
Yeah, he did.
What's wrong with these people, man? I just don't understand.
Hey, that's California, though.
Well, yeah.
That's
You said the magic word.
That's this one's down here. That's his home.
I'm born and raised in Texas. I just lived in California because I was stationed out there. My dad lives out there, but yeah, he's from West Texas too, though.
Oh, okay. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Let's say don't.
He's one of the few people I know in California that actually has a concealed carry license and is a police officer.
I'm surprised he has it.
I know.
Because we used to live in Calaveras County, which is it's given out by the sheriff.
Yeah,
and the sheriff is the one. Yeah, so Calaveras County is a very conservative area up in the foothills, and if the sheriff gives it to you, then it's good across the entire state. And so, yeah, he's got one that's like doesn't expire or any of that stuff.
That's good.
And he got it because he used to have his own business and he could state that he had to take money to the bank. And so that was another way he was able to like prove that he needed it. But anyway, so yeah, he's one of the few people I know in the state of California that actually has a concealed carry that isn't law enforcement.
Yeah, it's hard to get.
Or politician.
Really hard. Yeah. Well, they've got carry because poor babies.
Right.
Guys, I got to head. I got to get to my thing. So
yeah.
Are you gonna do it?
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna suck it up. I've been sitting long enough; it doesn't hurt too bad, and I took a couple pain pills. So
Hey.
we'll see how. My last stream I lost my hardcore world again, so I'm starting a brand new one tonight anyway. So I was blocking off a blaze farm area, and I looked to my right, and there's a freaking wither skeleton, and he just stabbed me, and I was like, "Son of a." Yeah, it's not a good day.
Family friendly.
It was extremely friendly. Anyway, always fun to talk.
Oh, good God. Yes, sir. All right. Well, we're going to end this like we always do with me saying a bunch of gibberish and then leaving it up to this guy over here to send us on home. This guy right here.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, if you are a veteran, go get your benefits. Go to the VA. Go do what you got to do. If you are feeling down from the holidays coming up, give me a shout out. Give Daddy Bro a shout out. He'll be able to help you too. Even this guy down here will be able to help you.
Reach out to us. We're going to be looking for DMs anyway, so we keep you busy.
Yeah. So and the Forney Post Commander for Forney, Texas. If you need help, she can help you too. So definitely reach out to one of us. If you don't feel like talking to any of us, 988 press 1. Okay. And with that, I give it to this guy.
Guys, make sure you get yourself something good to drink. Get yourself something good to eat. Hug the people in your life because you never know how long you're going to have them. And last but not least, if you need help, get help. Getting help does not make you weak. It, in fact, makes you strong. Have a good night. I'll talk to y'all later.
Yes, sir. Rock on.